home base for all things home related, home decor, interior and exterior design, choosing rugs, picking out paint colors, organizing, and so much more. Let's jump in today's episode with Southern Inspirations partner Kelley Designs. Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Hill with Southern Inspirations, and joining me again for another fabulous Design Time episode. I know, it's just fun saying it. Is Colettis with Kelley Designs. Hey, Kelley.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday.
Yes, I think we're feeling just extra bouncy today because we're talking about party planning and decorating, fun stuff. And even though we know we have to take precautions, we have to, consider safety and health and all of those things, there are still things we can do to have small gatherings that are just as fun and exciting.
Definitely.
So, yes, we're going to talk about it.
Yes. And these are great tips to use for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, whatever kind of party you're throwing this season. This will be a really great way to get you started so you don't feel so overwhelmed when you're planning.
These work for any occasion, any holiday. So I love it. All right, let me get my specs on because one of the first things that I want to do is get your website up here. I've got it. There it is. We want to get that ticking because I always want to remind everyone watching, as wonderful as these tips are, some of you might need or want just a little more help. And so Kelley is always available to talk you through some of that virtually or in person. Plus, she's just got good blog stuff and just a lot of good stuff on her website. So we're going to keep her website ticking at the bottom. All right, let's dive in.
All right. So to dive in, I do want to point out that I am an interior designer, so I love decorating for parties. Any themed anything is my jam. But if people have really in-depth planning for a really big event, whether it be for weddings or something more in-depth, I would definitely reach out to Paige Shepard from Shepard Organizing and Solutions. SOS has amazing structures for how she does all of her planning. So if you feel very overwhelmed going from beginning to end, get with her and she can get your mind in order and get everything really easy to work on. And then the day before for decorating, give me a call and I'm happy to come and decorate. We work really well together.
And there is Paige's website as well. Wonderful shout out to Paige. And you are exactly right, Kelley. She is like Miss Organizer Extraordinary. I just thought I was an organized person until I started really working with her. And I have learned so many tips from her. And so, yes, I'll leave that up for just a couple of minutes. Wonderful shout out to her. Thank you.
Yeah, so to jump right on in, just like any project that you're about to work on, determine your budget. You don't want to go way over budget for just a one-day event, but you also don't want to assume that you only want to spend $20 and expect to wow everyone with $20. So definitely determine your budget before you get started. And then like any event, decide what time and date you want to do it. Whether you decide to have some sort of event on the weekends, make sure it's not a holiday weekend that most of your friends and family will be out of town. And also pick a time that would be easy for people to get to it. You don't want to set an event while people are still at work or trying to come home from work, but you also don't want it to run too late for your friends and family that have babysitters that they need to get home and get back to their kids. So definitely keep things like that in mind when you're setting the date and the time, and then work on your guest list. You don't necessarily want to pick the place that you're going to go to if not all of your friends are going to fit. I know that with COVID guidelines, they have a limit on how many people are going to be there. So that may also determine you got to pick your favorite friends. So if you only have 10 people, definitely know that before you go into it, because you don't want to invite 30 people to a place that only allows 10 people. So definitely work on your guest list. And then pick out your party theme, depending on what kind of season or holiday you're doing it for, or it's a birthday or whatever. Pick your party theme. If you want it to be really fun, you can have games. If you want it to be more grown up, you could have maybe some sort of entertainment or music or a casino night or something. But choose your theme. The theme can make everything. It can help you decide your invitations, your menu. It can help with everything. So choosing your theme from the beginning makes it really easy to move forward. And then, like I said, that leads on to invites. So whether you do the virtual thing and you just make a Facebook group and invite everyone, or if you're old school and like to send out the paper invite so people can actually see it in their hands and put it up on the fridge. I know a lot of people even just use like Google Calendars as their invites. So they send it out, it comes with a link, people put it in their calendars. So busy people don't forget. There are lots of different ways to invite people, but make sure you do invite people with plenty of notice. You don't want to plan a whole party for this weekend and everyone's already got plans and you expect 30 people to show up. So definitely make sure you get your invitations in there, get all of your wordage, information that they need, and then work on your location and venue. You've got, like I said, you want to know how many people are allowed to come. We have our Christmas party this year is we're going to the watch party at the rave and watching a movie. They only allow 20 people, so we were only allowed to invite so many people with their kids. So make sure you know what location you're going to be working with and make sure you know their rules before you come. Some places have like an outdoor space, so they're a little more lax with wearing the mask the whole time. But some places that are indoors require you to wear your mask the entire time. So that may make a difference in what people you want to invite and what location you want to use.
All those new things that we have to consider now that we didn't have to think about before.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All that goes into choosing what you're going to do, where you're going to do it, oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's just kind of is what it is.
Mm-hmm. And you still want to make it fun, even with different guidelines. There are still games that you can play. You may not want to play as many games that you're like passing things around and everyone's touching it, but there are different ways to do gift games and different entertainment, card games, board games. There are lots of options out there, and I know that through Google and Pinterest, there are people that have come up with new ways to play games during these days of COVID. So if you feel overwhelmed trying to come up with some sort of entertainment, definitely check there, do a little research and get some inspiration, because you don't want people to just show up and stand around and look at each other, or people tend to congregate just in the kitchen if that's the only thing to do is eat. Having those games makes it a lot more fun and memorable for everyone. So even if it's not a kids party, adults still enjoy games as well. So definitely look up a couple of games that you can try.
Yes, I love that. Might not want to do Twister, because if you're on each other, that might be one we might stay away from this year.
And then once you've got some sort of entertainment working on, make your party list. Before you do anything, get a list going of all the things that you're going to need, so you're not constantly having to keep your mind churning, remembering everything. Because you may see something. Is this the checklist
slide, Kelley, that you want me to pop up? Is that that slide? Should I have already had that checklist slide popped up?
Yeah, you can go ahead and pull it up so people can get a screenshot of it.
I'm trying to interrupt you there, but I thought, oh, she had this wonderful checklist.
That's fine. Once you've got your list going, that would be a good time to start working on your menu, so you can add that as well. So you will have all of your food and everything prepped and ready to go before the party even starts. And having that theme, like I said before, can help determine your menu. A few years ago, we had a Christmas party that was based on Charles Dickens and Christmas carols. So we used all of these Christmas carols that we've sang for years that have like figgy pudding and all of these food items that we've never thought to try, and we had different people make them. So that determined our whole menu was food items that you hear in Christmas songs. So it can be as quirky as that, or it can be as simple as a potluck and people bring different dips. But having a menu ready to go makes it really easy ahead of time, especially if you've got really awesome friends that text you right before and say, do I need to bring anything? This is a great way for you to offer things that they can bring because you've already got the list.
I like that. Yeah, sorry I popped that up a little bit late. We got to going and I'm like, oh, I have a slide. This on here.
That's all right. I hope people were able to get a screenshot of it, and if not, we can share it on our page later.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so once we have our list, we were talking a little bit about guest experience and how you don't want folks to like be bored or whatever. Mm-hmm. So there are still plenty of things we can do that people will be glad that they came to the party, right?
Yes. definitely keep in mind that full guest experience. Think of parties that you've been to that you really enjoyed and everyone had fun and there was never a quiet lull of people just standing around bored. So getting that full guest experience, especially with these days, offer masks and hand sanitizer. You know you've gotten to the front of the store and realized that you forgot your mask in the car, and people are coming to parties and coming to someone's houses. They don't think about bringing their mask to go to a public place, but if lots of people are going to be there, you definitely want to have the option of masks. And having, some sort of hand sanitizer when they first walk in is also calming to everyone, whether they wash their hands before they came or not. Just coming in and having that hand sanitizer makes everyone feel at ease that they can freely touch things in your house and touch things around the food and not have to worry about it. And having people come in, that's usually a great place in the entry to have your masks and hand sanitizer, but also have somewhere to put people's coats. It is cooler outside and they may not want to wear their coat the whole time they're in there. And you don't want to look in your living room and have piles of coats laying on all the places that people could be sitting. So have somewhere to put the coats. If it's not in a coat closet right there next to the door, then maybe set aside a spot in like a guest room or an office that's just right nearby that you can have people put their coats. And then I strongly suggest this in lots of different party and events, is working with the five senses. You want them to walk in and it smell good. You want there to be music playing in the background. So even if it's not so high that people are having to shout at each other to hear, you definitely want to have something playing in the background so it's not just the sounds of people chewing while they're eating.
Oh, goodness.
So having
that
some
could
sort
fade into a less than, I was going to say less than memorable. It would be all right, but just not a good memory.
Yeah. But there are lots and lots of playlists, either on Spotify or Pandora or whatever service you use. They have, the traditional Christmas songs that everyone knows and loves, but they also have different versions that have no words. It's just like the background music. So there are jazz versions. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of Christmas songs out there. So there's no lack of playlists for people to be working with. And then whether you're serving a full meal or not, I would have drinks and snacks available. If people are going to be just standing around and you do have a full meal prepared, people will get there early and you don't want people to just stand around and be starving. So having little hors d'oeuvres or appetizers are always a really great idea. And then having drinks available somewhere nearby is awesome, just because you want someone to be able to either like bring their own drinks. You want to have non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages available, if that's an option. Not everyone drinks, so you don't want to assume that everyone likes the same things that you like. So if you plan on making, some sort of punch, don't add alcohol to it. Let people add their own alcohol to it. Or if you have some sort of strong sangria or cider or something like that, not everyone likes those things. So maybe have an additional option. 1 or 2 drinks available is always a great idea. And then definitely plan for a bonus guest. This is also like the plus one. You invite someone and they didn't RSVP or they brought someone extra with them. Always plan on an extra person being there. So if you've got, at least an extra place setting, if someone else shows up, or if you're playing some sort of Dirty Santa game, if their bonus person shows up and had no idea there was a game going on, you don't want them to feel left out. So have a couple of extra Dirty Santa gifts or white elephant gifts or whatever you call it. Have a couple of extra gifts for the extra guests to use if they didn't know that they were supposed to bring something. And then, as always, get tons and tons of photos. It doesn't happen if it's not a photo on Facebook or Instagram. So definitely get photos of people. There are tons of friends that I have that have kids and they have tons of photos of their kids, but no one ever turns the camera around and gets pictures of the parents. So if they're there without their kids, get pictures of them together so they have the memory of them having fun. So it's always great to be able to look back on your memories and see photos from years past of the parties that you've been to. And then another great thing about that guest experience, just to end the night, is send them home with a goodie bag. This is not just for kids' parties. So if you've got some sort of Thanksgiving event that you're hosting. Maybe their goodie bag has a couple little, like a little sampler of desserts that were offered or cookies. And if it's a Christmas party, maybe send them home with like a commemorative ornament for your event or something. Just something to send them home with so they feel good about it on the way home as well, that they're sitting there holding their memory of the awesome party that they were just at.
I love that. Because when they leave, you want them to leave with a thought in their head. That was such a good party. I hope she hosts it again next year.
Mm-hmm.
But scratch this one off the list. All those are wonderful things to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've done goodie bags at times, but I've not been consistent with it.
I'm not as consistent with it, but like I have different themes for every single Christmas. So sometimes it's easier to have a goodie bag depending on my theme.
Right.
One year we had a pajama party and everyone wore their Christmas pajamas, and the whole food theme ended up being breakfast foods. So, I mean, the theme can decide everything, but then people got to take home like little mini, like hot chocolate things to take home.
Yeah.
So that was part of their goodie bag.
Fun stuff. I love it.
So part of that full guest experience is the decorations that are inside. There are a few focus areas to put your attention towards. Like I said, having those photos and different things in the background make a huge difference. Having the entrance decorated so when they're coming up the steps to come into your house or when they first walk in, you want them to get the full shebang of your event. And having some sort of photo backdrop, not necessarily like what you would see at like a wedding or at prom, but just having some area, whether it be if it's for Thanksgiving, maybe somewhere near the fireplace, or if it's for Christmas, maybe somewhere near the Christmas tree, just having a set spot that you want to get people to stand in front of so they can get their picture taken. Having that really cool background just makes them want even more to print it off and put it on the fridge. If anything, to make it their like profile pic on Facebook. And then having some sort of food bar area that is set up separately from everything else. Decorate it, whether it have like little centerpieces or balloons or streamers or something on it. It just designates it as a separate spot from everything else. And table centerpieces can be on, people's individual tables, your coffee table, your dining tables. The little centerpieces can really go everywhere, including like your music and game table. Having areas like that decorated and set up so they do look separate from just like the common areas makes it a more designated spot. So people know, that spot is decorated because something goes there. So it just gives something people look forward to.
That, and I think it helps with the flow. If you want people truly like mingling instead of wondering what to do or who to talk, having those different little areas set up, it's clear what it is, but it does help people kind of move and flow and interact with each other.
Yes, it definitely keeps the flow going because people want to look and see what is there. So if you've got different areas set up and they're all separate, it makes people want to do like the tour of the whole space. Right. So they'll want to walk from spot to spot, and it makes everyone want to do that.
Oh, good stuff. I'm not sure if I'll be having a party this year or not, but if I do, I've picked up 2 or 3 things that I can do a little bit different. So thank you so much for sharing these wonderful tips. For everyone watching, I hope you have gotten a lot out of it. I know that I certainly do every single time. And again, just as another reminder, if you still need a little extra help, or if you need Kelley to completely plan your, come decorate for your party, she can do that as well. She can do the whole thing from start to finish. So whatever your budget is, whatever your needs are, she can help. Or if you just need to take these tips and run with it, we hope that you have found this useful to where you can do that as well. Anything else, Kelley, before we close out?
No, not really. If people are looking for inspiration, definitely feel free to look at my Facebook and Instagram page for the Kelley Colettis Designs. There are things that I've done in the past that I've posted tons of photos on. So if you're looking for inspiration or at least a starting point, that would be a great place to start.
For sure. Y'all check those out. All right, everyone. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for the continued support. of watching Design Time. Please like, share, comment, and continue to support us as we bring you this content. And speaking of content, we want to know if there's anything special that you would like us to cover. We're certainly open to hearing about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wraps it up. Until next time, everybody have a wonderful rest of your day and great weekend, and we'll see you here again soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, and happy Thanksgiving next
Oh,
week.
yes. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much turkey. All right. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.